Hello, today we're going to create isometric object number 4. To do this, first we're going to create this base rectangular shape, then we're going to extrude up this second rectangular shape, and we'll do the cutout and add in this final triangle. So that's what we're looking at using Autodesk Inventor to create this object. So first I'm going to start a 2D object. I'm going to sketch on the XY plane. I'm going to create a rectangle. If we look back at our object, we can see that it is 8 long by 2 tall. So I'm going to create that rectangle on Inventor using the rectangle tool. So I start at the origin, and all I'm going to do is go over 8 by typing in 8, hit tab, and then type in a 2 and enter. If I zoom out, you can see that gives me that rectangle. Once I do that, I'm going to finish sketch, and I'm going to extrude that shape out. So I'm going to extrude to see how far it is. We go back and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes out 5. So I'm going to extrude it out by a distance of 5. So I'm going to change that distance to 5 and hit enter. Now you can see I got that base triangle I started with. Next, we're going to do this portion that comes up. So I'm going to extrude it. You can see it's the same length, so it's still 8 long. And we count it's 1, 2 wide. So I'm going to sketch that shape on top of this shape I already created. So I'm going to start 2D sketch, click the top of my object. If you want to, some people like to rotate it. You don't have to rotate it, but some people like to rotate it so you can see a little better. You could also just zoom out. And then I'm just going to create that rectangle by starting at the origin again. I go over 8 and hit tab and then down 2 and hit enter. And that gives me that rectangle. Again, I need to finish sketch and I want to extrude it up this time. If we look back, we can see it goes up by a distance of 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to extrude up by a distance of 3 and hit enter. Now that I have my object created, I'm going to do this cutout on this side. Then we're going to add in this triangle portion. So to do this cutout portion, all I'm going to do is use a tool called chamfer. I'm going to click on this top edge, this top corner, and since they are not the same distance, if we count, if we look, it goes up 1, 2, 3 is our distance, our height here. And if we count how far in it goes, it may be easier to count how much you have remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That means we lost 2. 8 minus 6 gives us 2, so it went in by 2 on this side. Since they're not the same value, if they were the same value, we could just use this top tool that automatically gives us, and it would go in by 2 or 3 or whatever value you need. Since they are different distances, we're going to have to come down to this tool and the bottom, the third, the 2 distances. And we want the first distance to be 2. So if I click on that, the first distance is going to be 2. And the second distance is going to be 3. Say you typed in a 3 and a 2 and it didn't look right. It didn't look like it went in the right way. You could easily flip them by hitting this button here, and it's going to flip those values for you. Meaning now I'm going to flip it back, so I click it again and it returns to how we were. I'm going to hit OK, and that applies it to our object. So now we just have this little triangular portion to add in. There's a variety of ways you can do it. I'm just going to make it as a sketch and then do that same tool we just used to make it into a triangle. So I'm going to sketch it on this back shape by clicking Start 2D Sketch, clicking on that back face, and now all I want is a rectangle that fits in here. So we can see if we count how wide it is, it's 1, 2 wide, and it's the same height as that object. So to do that, all I'm going to do is another rectangle. I'm going to start at the top. I go down to my origin, which is going to be 3 down and 2 wide. So right now it's showing my width, so I want 2 wide, hit tab, and I want 3 tall, and enter. Right now it's not located in the correct location, so I'm going to use the dimension tool to help me locate that object. So if we zoom in a little bit, I'm going to click on that corner, and then the corner of the object I just created. And if we look back, we can see it's going to be a distance of just 1 from that inside edge. So I'm going to type in 1 and hit enter. That fully constrains the shape, so I can hit finish sketch. And now I want to extrude it out. How far out does it go? It goes all the way to the edge, which is 1, 2, and 3. So I need to extrude it out a distance of 3. So again, I'm going to hit extrude. automatically selects, otherwise you got to click in the shape, and it was 3 for last distance, so it remembers that, otherwise we'd have to type in that 3. Then we hit OK. Now I'm going to use the same tool as earlier, the chamfer tool, and I'm going to move this so we can see a little better, and I'm going to click on that near corner again. And you can see this time it did it the opposite way. I went down 3 and over in to be a different value. If we look in this case, it's in by 3 and up by 3. So now we can return to the first option and we can change it to a value of 3. Then when I click on that top corner, you can see they both go in 3 and 3, and it matches the shape I have on my drawing. Hit OK, and if I click home, you can see I've created ISO number 4. It matches that image we see there. So hopefully this helps you in your creation of object number 4. Good luck.